welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Danielle and I am the owner and creator of Damn Fancy Creations. If you guys are new to my channel, I do want to let you know that I have two other tutorial groups. I have a large tutorial group on Facebook and I have a smaller, more personal patron group. Both of those groups will be linked in the description in case that sounds like something you guys want to check out. I do want to give a shout out to one of my patrons really quick. Her name is Brittany and she is the owner of Anxious Hearts Designs. I am going to link her info in the description. Please go check her out and show her some love and encouragement on her epoxy journey. For today's tutorial, I really love how this cup turned out. It's super classy. It is very feminine in my opinion. It's definitely summer vibes. I am going to be using light pink and white glitter. We are going to be using printable vinyl, gold leaf, all sorts of fun, pretty stuff to make this tropical tumbler. I really like how it turned out. It was definitely one where I made it and was like, oh, I wish I could keep this one, but it was for one of my summer boxes, so I had to send it to its new home. So if you guys are ready to see how I created this summer girly tumbler, let's get started. Alright guys, so for this tumbler, I prepped it by sanding it and spray painted it with a flat white paint. I went ahead and added a thin layer of epoxy, and now we are going to sprinkle on our glitter. Both of these colors are from thedrunkflamingo.com. They are two of my favorites that I have right now. And I did not tape this off. I just kind of held my jar in the same spot and just kind of went around the entire tumbler while I was sprinkling this glitter. This one is Coconut Snowball Martini. It is one of my favorite whites that I have. And I just lightly sprinkled it around the cup. And I am going to be adding a vinyl strip to divide the two colors, so I did not need it to be 100% perfect. I had a little fuzzy sticking out from my glitter, so I had to grab it really quick. Right now I'm just checking to see if I have any slick spots that I see and just sprinkling some more glitter on there. And now I'm going to go back with my pink, and we are going to add that on the bottom half of the tumbler. And I am just very slowly tapping out some where the two glitters are going to meet, and then I can be a little bit more heavy-handed for the rest of this color. I want to say this one is Pink-A-Colada. It's part of the Pina-Colada series that I released. They're light pastel glitters. And once this layer of epoxy cures, I am going to go back and add 2 more layers of epoxy. Before the next layer of epoxy, if you feel more comfortable brushing off the excess glitter, go ahead and do that now. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. It typically depends on what color glitter is on my cup. But once all the excess glitter is off, we're going to apply our next layer of epoxy. I will typically mix enough epoxy for 4 to 6 cups minimum, but if you're just mixing for one, I would say mix about 20 to 30 milliliters depending on how large your cup is and how coarse the glitter is on your cup. You want to make sure that all the glitter is covered but not dripping off of the tumbler. And after my second layer of epoxy, I will sand this really well. I will Dremel or sand my top and bottom rims. And we are going to use some Tack It to apply some gold leaf. Now I am just adding a very thin layer around the top of this tumbler. And then I am basically going to kind of brush the Tack It down a little bit. I like for my gold leaf to have more of a distressed feel, which is why I like using kind of stiff brushes to move my Tack It around. And Tack It will be white. It is kind of hard to see on white glitter, but you do want to make sure that it is 100% dry. And you'll know that it's dry if it's very sticky. If you can still feel it's kind of damp, then you need to let it sit for a little bit longer, or you can always dry it with a hairdryer or heat gun to speed up that process. So while this is drying, I am going to go ahead and apply my vinyl strips. I am just going to apply this right in between my light pink and my white glitter. And right where this vinyl meets, I'm going to trim the excess. And I match it up as best I can so you don't see an uneven line. And then I'm going to apply our second strip. I am just eyeballing this. You know, it's pretty easy to get it straight if it's close to the first line. If it was more spaced out, I would have used a spacer like painter's tape or electrical tape or something like that. And I had a fuzzy stuck to my vinyl. I could not get it out. It was driving me crazy. So again, we're just going to trim it where the two ends meet and smooth it down. So I am just kind of testing my Tack It to see if it's dry. I did apply a very, very thin layer, so it's not going to take as long to dry as if I was doing a whole thick layer or an entire tumbler. So I did decide to just let it sit for another 10 minutes since it was kind of hard to see if the Tack It was dry or not. And I definitely wanted to make sure it was dry. If not, it would cause my gold leaf to get kind of squishy and messy and just not look good. So once it's dry, I am just going to apply a full sheet of my gold leaf. just directly on the tumbler and smooth it down. And I kind of peeled off the half that was not stuck to the tumbler and applied it to the other side where the tacket was. Since I like the look of my gold leaf being distressed, I am not too worried about it being wrinkly or super smooth or even, things like that. I like the distressed look of it. And I typically take my stiff bristle brush, just brush off all of the excess that is not stuck down to the tacket. I typically will brush it around my edges if my gold leaf is applied to the edges of a cup. And then I am going to take painter's tape, wrap it around my fingers, and I am going to distress this gold leaf even more. The painter's tape will help to get off any of that gold leaf that is not stuck to the tacket as well, and it just kind of distresses certain spots of the gold leaf. So when you are happy with how your gold leaf looks, then we can move on to the next step. Sometimes I will save my gold leaf and put it in my gold leaf flake bag. Sometimes I will just trash it. It just depends on how much I have left. So now we are going to start applying our leaves. These are just some tropical leaf clip art that I found on Etsy. I will link the shop below so you guys can check them out if you need some tropical leaves. And I just printed random sizes. I do not even know what size I printed these, but if I had to guess, I would probably say around like 2.5 inches maybe. And this is on a 16-ounce duo can cooler. And I did cut some of them at an angle to kind of look like they're hanging down from the top. And I just kind of alternated between laying the printable vinyl leaves, the gold vinyl leaves, and then the gold outline that I also had. And I would just kind of place it in a pattern that I liked. I would overlap some of these leaves just to give it more dimension. And this is pretty much what I did all the way around the cup. So this one is a fairly easy tumbler to create, but it is one of my favorites. I think it probably is the simplicity of it. Sometimes we try so hard to create tumblers that are just outstanding and have tons of different techniques in them, and I think sometimes we may forget that sometimes the prettiest tumblers are the simplest ones that we can create. And for some of these leaves you see poking up around the top edge, I do go back and trim those with my blade. I just left them whole in case I decided to move them. And for those of you that are wondering, you do not need to seal printable vinyl before you epoxy. And I use the Cricut brand. So after I trim my edges, it will be ready for your final layer or layers of epoxy. I did go back and add a decal to this, but I love how it turned out, and I hope you guys do too. Here are some finished pictures with the decal added. I thought it was perfect for this cup. I hope this inspires you guys to try something that you may not have tried before, or just try a simple cup if you are used to doing more extravagant cups. If you guys enjoyed this video or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, don't forget to check out my tutorial group on Facebook or my Patreon group. Both will be linked in the description. Thanks for watching.